We need a recovery that brings back the life and the heart and the energy of this city, and that everyone gets to be a part of. And we're going to do that. We're going to really bring back the heart and soul of New York City. We need our arts and culture back, and we need people to see it and feel it, to participate in it. Month after month in 2021, as you see the city come back to life, culture will lead the way.
Open culture is another step towards a recovery for our city. We're launching with 115 street locations in all 5 boroughs.
Cultural community is our conscience, our cultural community is our hope, and our identity as New Yorkers.
Oh, Lordy. No, that was not a Tim Dillon or Ryan Long skit. That is government at its best. And what did you expect? When you ask government to solve a problem that they created, this is what you have. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Rudowski of WeAreChange.org. A lot of very important news to get into today. Specifically, a major court decision surrounding the Central Intelligence Agency that, of course, has ties to a lot of interesting people. There's a lot of crazy news coming out of Texas, as, of course, financially, things couldn't be more radical than they are right now. Now, yes, New York City's answer to locking down, shutting down, and eviscerating pretty much all of the small business in its city is to now have culturally appropriate, social distance, expressive dancing all throughout New York City. Yes, the government is given its blessing, and you could apply for a permit to do this wherever this is, all throughout New York City, which supposedly will help the utter devastation that the government has wreaked on everyone. This seems as good of an idea as, of course, Andrew Cuomo's initiative to send sick elderly patients into nursing homes in 2020. New York, the state that will literally and figuratively rob you and then do a culturally appropriate social distance expressive dance on top of your grave. But don't worry, New Yorkers aren't alone in their misery, as of course also we have a lot of government in California, where we have this video specifically coming out of Los Angeles, where a health inspector is caught on camera clapping and dancing after incorrectly shutting down a small business because of the lockdown efforts. Yes, this health inspector that's dancing and celebrating the destructions of someone's livelihood right here in this video that you're watching right now made a mistake and incorrectly shut down businesses for violations of not following the lockdowns, which they were never in violation of. Still, as of right now, this sick person still has her job. This is disgusting on many levels and essentially shows you what the government is all about. But some good news to report, as we've been talking about for weeks now. The numbers, specifically around the sickness in 2020, has been going down dramatically. And a lot of people are saying that we are seeing the light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to the government using this crisis for their own personal benefit. You thought I was going to say the sickness? No, since we know a lot of the pain and suffering related from this entire sickness in 2020 is directly related to government on many levels. And I'm not just talking about Andrew Cuomo's lockdowns while sending sick people into elderly homes, but when you look at the responses of other countries like India, where of course the experts thought that this sickness would absolutely destroy the entire country, that hasn't happened. And just like the United States, the numbers have been dramatically going down in India, and their handling of this entire situation was way better than, of course, the United States, especially from a medical point of view. But there's even specific keywords that I could tell you about right now that would get this video literally deleted. Specifically talking about treatments that India used that you can't even mention here on YouTube. That's why me and Dr. Chris Martinson literally had to talk about it off of the platform on, of course, Patreon, which is also linked down in the description below. Now, with the continuation of the numbers dropping, especially dramatically here in the United States, we still, for some reason, have some government officials in the Biden administration still recommending everyone get the shot, even though, according to CNN, the shot is having no effect on the decline of the numbers here. What is contributing to the decline of the numbers ever since Joe Biden's inauguration? Well, let's be honest here, we don't know. Could this be because of mutations? Changing of the testing protocols? What's going on here? Why are the numbers dramatically going down? We still do not know. We do not have any clear evidence to why this is happening. But I sure hope that this is fully investigated so we understand why this is happening. Because, hey, that's key. That's very important here. As, of course, many American lives are still in standstill. As, of course, the cases are dramatically going down as we are speaking right now. Now, it's very interesting to see this suggestion from the Joe Biden administration still recommended everyone get shot. Because, again, even CNN admits it's not why the numbers are going down. But also, as we mentioned months ago, logistically, this is a nightmare, as some specialists have come out and said if the entire world would get the shot, that this wouldn't happen until 2027, even if we were moving full steam ahead without any logistical breakdowns. Again, this still doesn't even deal with the bigger questions of possible mutations and some of the legitimate problems still being found with the shot, since of course it's a rushed experimental shot that has no liability for the producers. But still, even on top of all of that, Joe Biden is pushing a $1.9 trillion bill as we're speaking, which a major part of it will be launching a national shot program that will try to give multiple shots to over 50 million people in the United States, which on its own face value is definitely a bit perplexing, which is usually the state of mind I would think Joe Biden is in, because it absolutely makes no sense at all. But yet the government is preparing their money printing machines to dole out another $1.9 trillion, specifically bailing out states for their incompetency, rewarding them for their mistakes, rolling out this shot on a wider scale, giving massive profits to the pharma industrial complex that faces no liability for their actions here at all. And then people wonder why cryptocurrencies and specifically Bitcoin has just surpassed $50,000 in the making of this video. Yes, for the first time ever, Bitcoin has reached its all-time high and surpassed $50,000. And then what did you expect with the Federal Reserve printing money willy-nilly like it doesn't even matter? This, of course, signals larger economic problems, not just for ourselves, but our future children in this country, that, of course, will have to pay the massive, insurmountable debt that will soon accumulate to over $30 trillion. There's even some in Bank of America hinting at the possibility of hyperinflation here in the United States, and let's be honest here, that's absolutely possible, especially with how fast these numbers have been growing. And being a step ahead, very interestingly, there's a lot of very powerful billionaires and multinational corporations that are joining forces, especially with the Pope, the Rothschilds, the Ford Foundation, the Rockefeller Foundation, along, of course, with John Kerry and the Biden administration, that are talking about how the Great Reset will come and save us all after, of course, we re-envision every aspect of our economy, which is similar talking points released by Mr. Bill Gates. As, of course, you know, who's better about talking about the Great Reset, re-envisioning capitalism in our economy, eating fake meat and stopping greenhouse emissions, absolutely eliminating them to zero, then, of course, Bill Gates, who owns a luxury car collection, hundreds of millions of dollars of property all around the United States, including beachfront property, multiple private planes, and now is acquiring important infrastructure all over the world, especially in the United States, recently becoming the largest farmland owner in all of the U.S. Yes, if we're going to be lectured about changing the economy, we should be lectured by the individuals who benefited off the most from it. That makes perfect sense. As, of course, also recently, many people in Texas are realizing that maybe relying on wind energy during a major snowstorm is not the smartest thing to do. As because of that and other contributing factors, we are having massive power blackouts in Texas, making a lot of people that moved there from California feel right at home, as nearly 4.4 million people have experienced not having any power during a major winter storm that plummeted temperatures and caused casualties, the exact numbers of which we don't know yet, but the situation has definitely become dire in Texas, as even the National Guard troops have been deployed to try to help as many people as they can in the, quote, freezing darkness. So yeah, those clean energy wind turbines really worked out really well for Texas there. Thank you, our Lord and Savior, Mr. Gates. But on a more serious note, you never know when there could be actual natural disasters or human disasters. That's why I've been working previously for many years now with companies like SafePreparedAndReady.com. Yes, this is a cheap plug out there, but again, the world's unpredictable. And even if it's not the companies that I work with, always make sure to have some rice, some beans, whatever it may be, just to give you a peace of mind during these crazy, insane times. One of the best things you could do, by the way, also, grow a garden in your front lawn or whatever communal space you might have that might be empty. It's one of the most anarchistic things you could do. And plus, putting your hands in soil and working with your hands is actually also really good for your gut biome. Another thing that's really interesting to bring up here. And it's definitely one sure way of investing in your future, which of course the government never will. And I think if we all do that, we might be seeing more light at the end of the tunnel, which I think we might be very closely to actually getting out of, and then quickly sucked up to another pipe. But maybe, just maybe, and maybe if we all wake up and learn not to play into the agenda, not to be manipulated by the emotions of fear, while learning to be independent, responsible, and that every little thing we do, like voting with our dollar, absolutely matters, maybe there's a chance that we actually come out ahead of this and use this as an example of a lot of people waking up to just how absolutely horrible government could be. Hey, that's one possibility. I'm a serial optimist, but what do you think is going to happen? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, my puppy says hi. She is extremely large. She's continuing to grow. What do you have to say here? Thank you so much. Wow. I'm blessed with having the luckiest dog, and because you guys help me take care of her by taking care of me, I always try to end every single broadcast by saying, love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.